if you get like a bunch of fights in a row, you end up noticing that you always do the same attacks in the same orders on the same type of characters and the same kind of, and it just becomes like more of the same always. There was a map. Once you're out in the field, there is a map. There's also a map when you do pick, like, start new missions. You do get like a map of the, like an overview of the district you're in, and it kind of pinpoints like where End Hill is, or where the Hive is, or where the Sanctuary is, and that kind of stuff, and it kind of tells you like what kind of different missions you have access to. And I'm assuming there's probably like quite a wide variety of different like mission type. For now, I've only seen 2. Maps are decently, well, I mean, it depends, right? So when you do start a mission, you get 2 options. You can either jump directly into the mission area, or you can jump into like some back streets near the mission area, and those are filled with like enemies. You can maybe get some loot, but most importantly, they're filled with vendors. So you can go in there and you can sell stuff, you can buy different gear, and so you do decide what you want to do. So far, I've decided to go in those because I was wrong. You don't necessarily get more XP by doing those, but you do get the chance to get more loot, right? Because you're killing more enemies. They might drop loot. You might get loot that way. If you do both, like the city like back streets and then the mission area combined, pretty big. If you decide to just go straight into the mission, significantly smaller. So the devs said you can complete this game completely in about 50 hours. That's according to their calculation, I guess, like in office. And honestly, they're probably right. Obviously, like, I'm taking my time and I'm going a little bit slow, right? So it's taking me a little bit longer, but it did take me 2 hours, almost 3. 2 hours and 30 minutes to do 3 weeks. Well, 2 weeks. I'm starting week 3. There's 75 weeks. And I'm assuming some areas maybe later in the game are bigger than smaller. There is more to it than just battles, but the looting in the maps seems to be fairly limited, at least in the areas that I was in. There's quite a lot of like just corridors that just lead to empty rooms, or maybe you might get like one thing to loot at the end. It's fine, but the combat kind of makes the entire experience a little bit tedious. Combat is fun, but like I said, like it like I only did combat like I only did 2 missions, and it already feels kind of repetitive. Obviously, I don't have, like, my characters are still very early on, so like there's like very few skills that I have access to and stuff maybe, but it still feels like it was kind of redundant a lot. And there's like maybe so far, I mean, again, I'm 2 weeks in, so I'm very, very early game, but there seems to be like 5 different enemy types. And I've read in the comment that like some people were complaining that they're like it stays the same a lot. The enemy types don't really change. Like you'll always get like a kind of like a roguish enemy, then like a brawler type, then a big dude with a big gun, and then like it gets like it's basically like some people were saying that like once you've played like let's say 10-15 hours, you've seen like every type of enemy, and then they just kind of repeat. Like in different combinations and different things. Even the bosses that I had to beat in a regular mission were pretty much just like a regular enemy, just like buffed to be stronger. Like visually it was the same enemy. However, the intro does show you a different kind of boss character when you're doing the intro mission, which you are forced to lose. So I'm wondering if like the story missions maybe have this kind of extra thing, like, right? Like this extra kind of like flavor to it. Like maybe the maps are a lot bigger. Maybe there's like a wide variety of enemies in those versus like a regular mission. But I mean, for the price, right? This game is $20 for me, approximately 22 Canadian. American, I would guess it's probably like $18.99 probably on Steam right now. I mean, it's fairly cheap. Like, honestly, for a 50-hour game, that's incredibly cheap. You're getting a lot of, like, bang for your buck. And whilst the robot voice gets a little bit grating after a while, because, like, it's the same jokes that keep, like, repeating all the time, there's apparently an option. I haven't looked into the options, but there's apparently an option to turn the robot voice out. I think it might be mute. I think it's mute. No, it's mute everything. Oh, drone voice. There we go. It was right there. Drone voice. And you can just like lower it to minimum. So if you're tired of like hearing the robot like saying the same jokes over and over, there's an option to like remove that. So, I mean, there's that. And also, keep in mind, I'm playing the game on the story mode on normal. If you play it on hard, you're probably going to have like even more bang for your buck because you're probably going to like have to deep a lot deeper into the systems and stuff. And also, this is one of 2 gameplay type. The other gameplay type is like endless. So there's no timer on the week thing, and you can probably complete every single district if you wanted to, which probably increases your playtime to like a ridiculous amount. Because it just never ends. So you can probably like make super OP characters, and you can just like just go nuts. I agree. Yeah, it's fairly impressive. Like I can see the mixed reviews. I can see where they're coming from. I feel like people are a little bit harsh on the game, maybe. It doesn't feel like it's not like a bad game at all. Like in fact, I could see myself like waste a bunch of hours on this. The only reason I'm not going to it's because I don't have 50 hours to kind of complete the story. And I do have other games to play. So, but I mean, like it's not bad. Now I can't say after 15 hours if my thoughts would be the same. Maybe after 15 hours of the same combat system, I might just like tune out. But if you do enjoy the combat system and you really want to dig deep into it, every skill is like a paragraph of different values and stuff you can read. You can scan every single enemy in the game and then read all their stats. And there's, like I said, there's a story in the game. Like there's a lot. There's definitely a lot. And like in Darkest Dungeon, you do have like a graveyard, right? So you get like every agent that dies will just like show up here. And yeah, like honestly, like it's really not a bad game. Like I would probably give this game, like if I were to rate games, I would probably give this like, it's like, I would give this like a 7, but because of the combat system, I think I would have to like lower that to like a 6, just because of the repetitiveness. But everything else kind of brings that up. The like it's polished enough to be to be very enjoyable. There's a lot of different options. I think what would have been nice, like if I were to like patch this and like kind of increase even more the fun factor, outside of like, you know, more enemy variety maybe, would be that when you do create a new character, right? When you do like cloning center, so when you clone an agent, a soldier will always look like this. An infiltrator will always look like this. They will always have that face with the same portrait, same thing. The only difference is you get to customize a tiny little bit of color, a line of color that appears like on both sides. That's literally it. So if I were to say anything, since you can't see your characters in missions anyway. You can only see them like when you do see them like on the thing. Either make us be able to like change facial features for the screenshots so that they have like a vastly different like thing here, or straight up just allow us to change the entire character, like a different look, different race, different eyebrows, kind of like XCOM does when you want to recruit a character and you can kind of like customize them the way you want, because you can already rename them to whatever you want, right? So it's kind of even more fun if you can rename them and then like make like a bunch of punk looking dudes, or just like I don't know, you just like make a bunch of like chicks, like your entire team is just female or just male, or you do like a bunch of like a team that like everybody looks like a freaking Viking. I don't know, like just like a bunch of different options for like character customization would be a lot more fun than just like base infiltrator is this and that's it. I get why they're doing this. They're going the Darkest Dungeon route, where like a certain class will always look like that class. Like a flagellant will always look like a flagellant. The only thing that's different is like a slightly different color variation, but it's always the same thing. So I get it. And also it's probably like a lot of work for like a very small team, but like if I were to improve on this, that's probably what I would do. I think it would just add like this little extra fun factor thingy when you do create a clone. Maybe I would even be even more attached to one of the clones if I could like actually change their looks and stuff. But man, like seriously, it's a solid game, solid effort from these guys. And I think they're the dev's name is I keep forgetting, man. Is Runeheads, and they've made a game called Fall of Light Darkest Edition, which is a story-driven dungeon crawler set within a world consumed by darkness. I'm assuming also is kind of like roguelike-ish. And funny enough, that the other game is also with mixed reviews, which is kind of interesting. But I mean, seems like they're good at making kind of like concepts. It's just missing that. It's just that little extra thing that just makes it like an actual like gem. But I mean, you can't really go wrong with like if you like cyberpunk stuff, right? And you like dungeon crawlers. That's the thing though, is you need to like very specific things. You need to be able to you need to really like dungeon crawling. You need to like roguelite, and you need to like first person dungeon crawlers, which are like a very different thing than just a regular dungeon crawler. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Just the fact that you only move in like in blocks, and then you like turn, and then you move in block again. Like it's just kind of, it's a different feel, it's a different type of game, and you really need to like enjoy that. The fact that you can never see your characters actually attack, it's you can only see the enemy attack, and all you see is just like a beam when you shoot somebody, or like a grenade like fly from your screen towards them. Like it's a different like experience. If you can't wrap your head around that, then don't buy it, because you'll be miserable. If you think you might enjoy it, then by all means try it out. Like it's fairly good, very cheap, and you get a lot of bang for your buck, like a lot of content for your money. There are quite a few. It's a genre that has a few games, like Legends of Grimrock, I think, is one of those, and Vaporum is one of those as well. But also, it's a genre that's a lot more prevalent in Japanese games. There's a lot of Japanese RPGs that are that way, like in first person kind of, you just like blocky dungeon crawling stuff. But yeah, it's not bad at all. Yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. To be honest, there's not a lot more to say. It's good. I'm quite happy that I had the experience to give it a shot, and yeah, we'll I don't think we'll revisit it anytime soon, I mean, maybe if they like release even more content for it, like maybe like I said, like something that would change the combat like drastically and stuff, maybe. But I don't think like it's something that I'm gonna jump back into anytime soon because there's too many things to play, like way too many things to play. Um, there's like soon-ish we'll be going into we'll be finishing off XCOM, Chimera Squad, and Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Probably FF7 Remake is going to finish first because I'm a lot closer to the end than XCOM. And then I might even have to pause XCOM to jump into other stuff because like I need to play ASAP Last of Us Part One remastered for the second time because the sequel is coming out like in like a month and a half. I also want to play Gears Tactics, um, and there were other stuff as well. I wanted to go and I wanted to take a look at Fallout 76, but it's not the end of the world if I don't have the time to do it. Um, and yeah, there's quite a few titles that I want to check out. So I'm probably going to be doing a lot of that. Oh, and there's Assassin's Creed as well. Between now and uh, January or December, whenever the new Assassin's Creed comes out, I need to replay Origin and I need to play for the first time Odyssey. So that's quite a like that. Those are just big games that I will have to like spend a lot of time in, and I have to play them before Avengers releases in September and Cyberpunk, I think, in September as well. So, I mean, I have the summer, but it's still like it's two Assassin's Creed game, and I don't want to play them back to back. Ideally, I would love to play one and then just like have a little bit of time before jumping into the other one. So, yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff coming, a lot of good games coming out. And there's the week of June that has June, I think 9th to June 14th, that Steam will have a bunch of demos. It's part of like Jeff Keighley's Summer Fest games or Summer Game Fest, whatever the name is. It seems super awesome. It's basically like the E3 we're not getting, but like over 4 months. And there's going to be like real like announcements and a bunch of different things from so many different publishers. And Steam is actually a partner of that. And from the way I understood the wording of the announcement, it was that in June, in that specific week, they're going to actually allow people to play the demos that would have normally been on the store on the floor at E3 that just won't happen, right? So those companies that built those demos for the E3, they're still going to have those demos available, but it will be on Steam, and you will be able to like play a bunch of different demos from games that are going to release soon or just release or are coming in the future or something like. But that's the way I understood it. I might be wrong. It might just be like a bunch of demos of games that nobody wants to play. But like I'm very curious. It seems like maybe we're going to get uh like demos for games like Cyberpunk even. Like who knows? Like that's just insane. So that week specifically might be a little bit crazy in the channel. We just might be playing demos like every day, just like a bunch of different demos or as many demos as there are on Steam, and we can just like grab them and play them. But yeah, lots of cool stuff coming. So that'll be it for me. I'm a little bit tired, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I had a pretty intense day. So I'm gonna have to go. But Darth, I do appreciate you stopping by and just like chatting with me, man. I really do appreciate it. Same with Bob. Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot to me that you would take some time out of your very very busy lives to watch me play games and just hear my thoughts. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and we'll be playing. I'm hesitating between XCOM and Final Fantasy. The thing with Final Fantasy is I play that game in the evening a lot. Maybe I should play that game like in the morning, just to kind of like do a different thing. You know what? Let's do that. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and tomorrow evening at 7:30 p.m. we'll do more XCOM. So yeah, that's the plan. Sold. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great, great night, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.